Alright, welcome to the couch. My name's Elijah. With me I got Jason, Steven, and Angel. And today we have a special guest, Thom.
Hey, how's it going?
Thom is our very special friend. We all knew him kind of growing up and coming into our
adulthood life.
He's always been a figure in our lives. So
always is a...
That's a bit of a stretch.
Yeah.
Nope. Got my hero on the podcast right now.
You don't want to grow up and be like me.
Well, you say you don't want us to grow up to be like you. You want to elaborate on that? Like, who are you? What do you do?
What do you do?
I don't know. I'm just an old man. A little fat bald guy that runs around and tries to engage people to get their brains to work and think and learn how to talk.
So how did you get to the position that you're in right now? Give us a little background on yourself.
Well, I grew up in Arizona
Mm-hmm.
and spent some time in Europe and then spent some time in Canada and I didn't go to college right away when I got out of high school and took go ahead.
Not good.
No.
I was just hitting with the lips.
We all make kind of weird noises.
Yeah, that's alright. Everybody should make noise. I think that's a good thing. Moved to Omaha about 7 years ago. Been living in Nebraska for 20 plus years. Married a Nebraska girl. That's why I'm here and not in the desert. Been in several different businesses, owned a couple of businesses, and that's just the way it is.
So you stayed in Nebraska for a girl?
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
It's all
No,
about.
don't talk bad about his wife, dude.
I'm not talking about that.
It's all about my bride, man.
So, I'm interested.
Alright, so I guess this is like the introduction to our guest series. I don't know about series, but having guests on the show.
Oh yeah. I mean, we want to make it like a normal thing, kind of.
Maybe.
You know? Yeah,
Like
once a month. I don't know.
something like that.
Every now and then, just get people on.
Yeah, having
switch it
guests,
up.
it spices things up, but I think it gives like a nice dynamic to our podcast, like something to look forward to.
Yeah.
Something to look forward to.
Yeah,
Our
because
podcast
You
is-
guys end up being Joe Rogan. You keep up this.
I'm telling you.
That's the goal.
There you go.
We need Elon
But
Musk.
4 people, dude. Elon Musk. Oh my
I
god.
better be interviewing Elon Musk in a year. I failed as a human being, honestly.
If you don't get with Elon,
Yeah.
you think he really shot a car into space?
Yes, I did.
I mean, why wouldn't he? With all that money?
That dude he's a little crazy. That dude's a little crazy.
You have to be a little crazy to own businesses.
But look at
Especially space.
Look at the successful people in whatever industry. They're all crazy. We were just talking about this yesterday. Quentin Tarantino, that dude's insane. But he best director role for
Yeah.
the whole time.
Did we talk about that last time?
No, we was talking
No.
about last night.
That's right.
Last
Yeah.
night. Oh yeah.
Like,
My bad.
I don't know. You gotta be a little cuckoo to be successful, bud.
Yeah, I mean, you said that you own a couple of businesses actually, and would you say that like it takes a different kind of person to own a business?
I think somebody that's willing to work and do things differently than other people might do, or put themselves out there.
Right.
You know, you gotta be willing to get yourself slapped a couple of times and made fun of and things like that. But that's just part of life.
Right. So like, do you think your business like mentality? Do you think that helped you push you to your different places in your life? Like you said, you lived in Europe and around the.
I hung out in Europe for a while.
You just hung out.
Yeah, just went over there and horsed around and rode the rails and.
Was it that just cause you just wanted to go?
Yeah, about the same age as you guys.
Soul Search?
Oh yeah.
No, I don't even know if I have a soul.
Blends right in with the rest of us.
No, I graduated high school and a buddy of mine, his parents took a job with the State Department and they were stationed in Paris and he just said, yeah, you guys can come over. So me and a buddy just went over there and we horsed around Europe for quite a while.
Did you pay rent?
No.
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 Wow, that's an opportunity of a
Oh
lifetime.
man, yeah.
Oh my god.
We just all we had to do was buy Eurail passes and then pay money at hostels and buy food and stuff.
Oh my god.
I've never left Nebraska, bro.
Really?
I've been to Iowa a couple times.
You've been to Iowa. Iowa's like right there.
Yeah, I know. It's like
It's
15
right
minutes.
there.
It doesn't count.
We can spit into Iowa.
Yeah,
Where we
it
are.
doesn't
It's
count.
like, I mean,
That's what I'm saying.
Iowa's a whole other beast, especially right there.
Iowa's a little tame beast, though. I mean,
I guess. So, was that a nice experience to have? Do you think, like, I mean, you said you were our age. Do you think that really helped you shape your life the way it is now?
I think so. I think, you know, there's large disadvantages of growing up in the United States. We have, you know, we have so many people running around right now in the United States that are pissing and moaning about the dumbest things, you know.
Mhm.
Like, there's some lady that's crabbing about fat shaming plates at Macy's.
what?
Yeah.
Oh,
Wait, what?
Oh, go on.
It's a crazy deal, but Macy's. Long story short, Macy's has a series of plates that are like 12-inch or 14-inch plates, and then there's circles on them, and one of them says "Mom Pants," and you know,
Oh my
and
God.
small. So it's a portion thing. You're supposed to be able to fit your portion if you want to wear a certain type of pants.
I'm always in mom pants.
Well,
Yeah.
Like,
perpetually.
Perpetually,
That's
dude.
me. But yeah, I mean, we crab about that stuff here in the United States. But when you get outside of the United States and you see that the world is really different, that people just
Yeah.
don't have what we have here at
People-
all. And so you know, even though Europe, most of Europe is by definition first world, they still don't have the stuff that we have. You know, people die in France when there's a heat wave like we just experienced last week.
God.
So many more people die in places like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then, you know, the Yellow Vest riots, which you guys remember. The
Yeah,
Yellow
yeah.
Vest that I wore all
You
the
still
time.
got that?
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Because the Yellow Vests are still going on, and we don't even hear about it.
Yeah.
And it's gotten to the point now where the police are starting to step away because they're having PTSD and stuff like that. That doesn't happen here. So I think things like that are a good idea. Plus, it's kind of cool to go stand there in a building that's been around for 2,000 years.
yeah, we don't really have that here.
Yeah, we got like.
Nah.
Closest you get are the
200.
Native American rooms,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
And even then, it's so, like, honestly, I feel like those ruins of Native Americans just spits in the face of the people.
I
Like,
agree.
it shouldn't be a place where you go to visit. It should be a place that you should appreciate, and you should know that it's there, you know? But
Especially where we live, too. It's a very centric area with Native Americans.
right.
True.
Like, Nebraska thrives with Native American culture. They taught us that in elementary school.
Mm.
And, like, I don't know, like, something about it is just weird. That they're just, like, you can't really put a price tag on stuff like that. And in Europe, I don't necessarily, like, you can pay for a tour, but if you just want to go there, you can just walk there, and you can walk right next to a historic building that's been there for years.
Right.
Like, forever.
We jumped the fence into Pompeii.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it's just one of those things. But back to your Native American point, I mean, you know, one of the things that drives me nuts is, like in South Dakota, where the federal government has stuffed the Oglala Lakota. They've just stuffed them into one of the worst parts of the world. But then just west of there is the Black Hills, which is sacred country to the Oglala. And they, Jewel Cave is where first man came from, according to their tradition. That's where their first man came from, and it's a national park.
Mm.
And the federal government charges you money to go there.
God.
It's just like, you know, if you're religious in any way, you don't want people charge money to go into your religious sanctuary. You know what I mean? That's just to me, it's stupid. But,
It's like they turn their culture into an amusement park.
right.
And
Sort of, yeah.
it just, yeah.
Any way to make money, apparently.
Yeah, and me, like, I can kind of relate to this in a way because, like, I have Asian heritage. You know, my roots lie in Asia, and I can see more and more every day that a lot of Asian things are getting Americanized. That I look at, I'm like, that kind of like, it's like degrading in a way.
Okay, what do you mean Americanized?
Like when people like the whole craze of rolled ice cream.
Oh.
You know, or like when
Like trends?
yeah, like how like it's weird that you see it a lot in America that they take a culture and they make it a trend here. It's weird.
Mm.
Like, I mean, you can't say that with certain cultures. Like you see, like African American culture is deep rooted in America. You know, African American culture, like rap music, or the way people dress nowadays. A lot of that is inspired by African American. You know, I feel like America is the like place where they pick and choose from what culture they want, and they try and envelop in it, but it's kind of like degrading. I don't know.
Yeah, it's because they try to make America like a melting pot or whatever, but it can become disrespectful if you don't give the credit to where it's due.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, it can be disrespectful. It can be disrespectful, but America is the melting pot.
Yeah.
Melting pot.
Yeah.
Or plot. Just depends on
Melting pot, I guess. But yeah, it's the melting pot of like, I don't want to say everyone, but there's a lot of cultures here.
Yeah.
Right. So, in your time in Europe, I mean, you were our age. Like, did you do anything stupid there? Like, you said you jumped the fence to Pompeii. Did you like actually jump a fence?
Yeah, we were in southern Italy, and Italy's an interesting place. But we won't go into what I understand about their politics.
My people.
Nice. Rome is dirty. It's a dirty city.
Yeah.
We were there for 4 days, 5 days. Got to see Diego Maradona play when he was playing for Napoli. But and that was, he was the best player on the planet at the time, and it was fun. It was a blast actually. But we went down further south, and we got to Pompeii, and of course everybody knows about Pompeii. That's where Vesuvius blew up and stuff. We're just kind of milling about, had no idea where we were, what we were looking for. Nobody spoke English. It was a Sunday morning, and Greg, one of the kids I was with, tall kid, he probably 6'5" or 6'6", and I'm not that tall.
Yeah.
And neither was my other friend that we were with. He's about my height. But Greg saw the top of this like ruins. He says, "I wonder what that is over there." So we walked over across this park, and there was a fence. And Greg was tall enough to jump up and grab it, and he pulled himself up, and he looked, and he says, "Oh yeah, we got to get in here." So he just climbed over the fence. So Mark and I helped ourselves over the fence, and we just milled about inside Pompeii, like horsed around in their amphitheater where Pink Floyd videoed a concert.
Wow.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
At that time, did you know that Pink Floyd did a concert there?
Yeah, oh yeah, I'm a huge.
Did you always like? I never asked you that. Did you always like Pink Floyd?
I've liked Pink Floyd since, I don't know, forever. They're the greatest band on the planet.
Alright, sure.
Ever.
So you talk about Pink Floyd with some highlights. So like, what kind of music do you like? Like what has like?
Sorry.
Sorry. You knew this was going to come up?
Yeah, I like the type of music Thom likes.
I am predominantly most of the music I listen to would be considered punk.
Yes, sir.
Now Elijah's wearing a Green Day, and he and I would disagree on whether or not.
Look, I don't think Green Day is punk either. It's just I like Green Day a lot.
Green Day is a pop band.
Yeah.
But
Alternative.
I'm really heavy. Like those of you that will recognize who I am know that I have a tattoo on my arm, and that's a Suicidal Tendencies tattoo. And they're a skate punk band out of Venice Beach, California. And big Lagwagon fan. Yes.
Not bad.
Me first and the Gimme Gimmes. But to me, the best bands, the greatest bands of all time are still, I mean, they're kind of the classic, but they just were really talented. And that's Pink Floyd and Led Zeppelin. Black Sabbath.
Black Sabbath, really?
Oh, yeah. all punk music can trace its roots to Black Sabbath.
Yeah.
I guess that's more derived from, like, I guess, it's angry, fast paced.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, this is an audio podcast, but
Right.
if you could see Thom right now, I don't think you would have taken for a punk rock kind of guy. I imagine you sit at home, you throw on some classical music, and you fall asleep. But no, you're just there jamming out with the punk rock.
Yeah, no. I can respect classical music.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's for the old people.
Almost every time I saw Thom, every time I walked in, playing some punk rock, dude. Every time. Or Me First and the Gimme Gimmes, or some jazz.
Oh, you like jazz music?
Some jazz.
Some
Yeah.
jazz? Like
Yeah.
the older jazz? Like
I'd be more, like, I'm a big blues fan as well.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah,
like
more
the
blues.
There's something about that. You talk about African American culture, and that's just the whole Delta blues down from Louisiana and stuff like
yeah.
that. It's just, there's just something emotional about that just hits your core.
right.
And so jazz just kind of comes, that whole type of music gets in there, it's good.
It is good stuff. Like you can trace that back to African like tribal roots. A lot of their music hits you, but it also like it invokes a feeling in your body, you know. And like even psychologists, they can take traces of your brain and see when music is played how it affects your brain in certain ways. So to see that the shape of the music change, but the core of it is
right,
just pretty crazy. Yeah. I would like so music has always been a big part of your life.
Oh yeah, that's actually I'm learning how to speak.
It happens all the time, dude.
It's one of those fun things. You guys have seen me do that before, right?
Yeah.
Rewind a little bit.
Good stuff.
No, I started playing trumpet when I was young, probably 4th grade. My dad played guitar, and I woke up every morning and my dad's music wasn't the greatest. he really liked bluegrass.
Oh God.
And I'm just like, yeah, that's enough. That's like taking a guitar string and putting it in one ear, pulling it out the other. It's a horrible noise. But
Go listen to bluegrass, dude. Terrible.
it's not the best stuff. And those of you that listen to bluegrass, I'm sorry.
Yeah, we've talked about that, like talking about don't hate other people for what music they listen to.
No,
just judge them a little bit.
You just feel sorry for them.
Yeah.
I'm sorry that you can't find anything better than sardines.
Hey, sardines are pretty good. I like sardines.
Disgusting.
Sardines? Oh,
You guys
gross.
need to open up your palate.
My palate is very small.
Pretty open. It just doesn't want sardines.
I guess. I mean, so you played trumpet when you were younger? Did you think that like
Didn't
really
know that.
like just built your character? Like playing an instrument, that's kind of special in my opinion.
It does build your character. That's facts. Played drums until I was like 12. Used to play drums like all the time, and I don't know, like it kind of changes how you uphold yourself a little bit. It's kind of weird. Like me playing drums, I would just always find myself making beats on whatever I could, because like closest thing I had to drums. Didn't have my own drum set, but my uncle did. And yeah, so like it changes how you are. It's weird. It's weird. I don't know. You have to play an instrument to understand. You know,
Played clarinet for like a year.
You played clarinet? I never heard of this.
Bro. Yeah, we had to take a band class in school. I went. It was cool.
you gotta have a passion for it.
Yeah.
You had to take a band class in middle school?
Well, I don't know. I don't think I had an option. It was just put me in there. So I had to pick an instrument.
Can you still make the amateur?
I don't even know what that is.
That's the way you hold your mouth to make the noise in the clarinet.
I do not remember.
Did you ever play an instrument, Steven? I don't know if you ever did. I can't remember right now.
I beatbox in a middle school talent show. Still can.
Clarinet.
Beatbox, dude.
I mean, I still do it. I don't do it publicly though. That's like something I keep to myself.
Everyone makes a little noise with their mouth, I guess.
Yeah.
Every once in a while.
So why the trumpet? Or is that just something that you just sort of like?
I didn't want to play the clarinet.
Yeah.
Let me show myself out.
He used to beat up nerds like you.
No, I don't know. My grandma had a trumpet, and so that's what I played. And I only played trumpet for a little while. I mean, I guess I played till 8th grade, from 4th grade to 8th grade. But I picked up a bass guitar when I was 12.
Oh, okay.
And I have not ever put that down.
Nice.
Bass guitar is groovy.
It's actually how I met my wife. She was the lead vocalist, and I played bass in the band.
Oh.
Mm.
You were a little groupie.
That's like
what you were.
Something like that.
So you played in a band?
Yep.
For how long?
Well, I was in a couple of different bands. The last band I was in, the one that I met my wife in, we were together for about 2.5 years. Down in Prescott, in the Phoenix area, in Arizona.
Huh, that's crazy. It seems like honestly, like, you just are a man of many trades.
I've done a lot of things. Some of them not so intelligent. Others.
I think that's the stage we're in right now.
Making some
Not gonna lie.
unintelligent decisions. That's why we said one day, let's make a podcast.
That is how this
Intelligent decision right here, dude.
This podcast was born off of a really trash conversation.
Yeah,
I guess.
I don't remember what we were talking about.
I don't know.
I remember what we were talking about, but I'm not dropping it on the podcast. So.
Well, like now, you've owned businesses, you've been in a band, you've been to Europe, Like, people a lot of look at Nebraska and say, there's nothing to do there. And you met your wife in like Arizona. So how did you get back to Nebraska? Like,
well, she came back.
okay.
I came with her kicking and screaming.
Yeah.
'Cause I told her when we first got married. Now I love my mom dearly, but she's was one of those helicopter moms.
Oh my
So
god.
when we first got married, like she was at my house all the time.
That is horrible.
So just like, okay. And so Gina and I, we decided we were going to move from Arizona. And I said, there's never in a million years am I going to live in Nebraska. It's just not going to happen. So we went to Missouri.
Missouri.
And, you know, does anybody from Missouri ever listen to this?
I don't know. We don't know who listens to
knows?
this, dude.
It doesn't matter.
Okay, a larger group.
Trash talk Missouri, dude.
Okay, a larger group of more ignorant people I have yet to come across. It was not a pleasant experience, and so I said, all right, babe, let's try Nebraska. So we went to Scotts Bluff, which is on the other end of the state.
Oh, geez.
Like way
Yeah.
up there.
Yeah.
We lived there for almost 20 years, and then moved down here about 7 years ago. And I'll tell you now, I don't know that I'd ever leave.
Yeah. Sorry, I like Nebraska a lot, dude.
Because there's so much here. If the system collapses, and if we ever want to talk politics, that's I'll show you how it's going to collapse.
You already have it all planned out.
That's 21 trillion debt, dude.
You got your bunker all set up and ready for the
Well,
collapse.
I'm not too far away. but groundwater's only 7 feet. You know, it's there's wildlife all over the place. There's phenomenal soil, as we're well aware. So we can. And I'm going to sidetrack here. This is my ADHD kicking in.
That's fine.
Believe it or not, we have ADHD. Some of us.
Yeah.
Why is it that we grow grass in our front yards and not gardens?
That's true.
Well, people, I think
to maintain.
more or less they don't want the responsibility of having to do that.
You gotta mow the thing and weed eat
I
and
know.
all this other stuff, and I'm just like, but where I live, I can't have a garden.
You can't?
No, because I'm in an HOA.
Oh. You have to
You
follow
gotta
regulation.
follow the rules, and it's just like, man, I would turn my entire backyard into a garden. Now, of course, if the system collapses, then the HOA, and then I'll
Go plant in your garden
I'll be
right
planting my
away.
shooting the rabbits that come in. So I got something to eat. Well, that's one advantage. Like, see, because if I go back to Arizona, groundwater's 400 plus feet.
Soil's not
just
very
to
good
get
there.
there.
Or,
You got rocks.
You got dirt.
There's rocks. Have you seen an Arizona cow?
No.
No. You don't. They're the size of a Nebraska goat. You know, the first time I came to Nebraska and saw a Nebraska cow, I was like, holy Moses, what the heck is that? That's the size of a house.
That's beef, buddy.
beef.
So, Nebraska's a good place to be.
Okay.
Yeah, I very much like Nebraska. I don't know about you guys, but I very much like here. I'm going to stay here for the rest of my life.
I've never been anywhere else, but like I said, it's the only place I've been, so I don't mind it.
You gotta change that.
Yeah. I want to travel. You know,
For
I
sure.
want-
You should.
I want
Go.
to.
Just got to wait a little
What
bit.
are you waiting for?
I'm building my money right now. And that's about it. You had the perfect opportunity to go. You didn't have to pay rent somewhere.
Just
If you
come.
want to take this,
Just go.
If you want to take this,
Yeah.
all expensive pay.
Bro, that's like
Yeah.
the
I'm not there.
authentic trip though. Like, just go to Europe and just start running the streets. That's authentic.
One outfit, run the streets, go home.
Oh, you fend for yourself, bud. Get the real life experience.
Go to New Orleans. Go do something.
I feel like Europe would be a lot better. Just, I don't know.
Well, you got to experience something other than
Boston.
Omaha. I mean, Omaha's,
Yeah.
like I said, it's a good city. There's lots to do here, and there's good food here, and good people here. But you got to go to Seattle.
And be some buskers, dude.
Buskers.
Go to Portland. Check out Antifa. See how they're doing.
Antifa, dude. Oh my god.
So would you say that's like your biggest advice, especially for our age? A lot of us, I mean, we just graduated, and we're
Yeah, right now's the time.
right.
You know, when people ask sometimes what the three best ways to stay out of poverty. One is graduate high school. Two is not have a kid till you get married. And number three is don't have a kid.
Don't have a kid.
Don't get married.
That's it.
Don't get married till you're 24. At least. You do those three things, you'll not be in poverty. That's just the way it is. So now between 17, 18, 19 years old and that 24, now's the time to go do stuff.
Right.
Because when you have a kid,
can't really do it all.
no,
It's all downhill from there.
Because when you bring somebody into the world, you're responsible for that.
Even after they move out, you're still responsible for that.
No, my kids are done.
Oh, both kids moved out?
No, they're still in my house in
Oh.
chairs.
Wait, you sold?
When you listen, kids, get out.
You sold one of their drum sets, right?
Yeah, he sold it himself, and he got another one though.
You got another one?
Yeah.
What?
Well, he played in a band. They played here actually. They call themselves King's Company.
Oh, King's
They
Company.
were-
I heard of that.
Yeah, that was my.
Maybe
kid.
probably because I showed you.
I've heard of that, and I was not shown. That's good stuff.
Yeah, that was.
They were actually pretty good. I liked them a lot.
They did some interesting stuff. I don't know about the bass player, but my son and the guitar player were both Bell West kids. But they've since broken up, and now my kid's over at Iowa Western and drumming.
I mean, there's not many opportunities where you get to talk to other parents about like
What they're
college and
doing.
stuff. I mean, we're all friends, and my parents know them, but they can't really share the experiences that you have.
Sure.
So you say go out, travel now, and
Go do
basically rack up everything stupid you could possibly do from this age of 17.
Well, you're
to 24.
going to do stupid stuff for the rest of your life. It's just the way it is.
Yeah.
Right.
I tried to cut my hand off the other day. So.
Okay.
So, looking especially for like us, we're all trying to go to college,
Sure.
and we all know the expense of college, and we all know that it's an expensive feat.
That it
Yeah.
is.
So, in that situation, do you still think like traveling and going to like make stupid purchases is still a viable option?
Sure. I didn't get my first college degree until I was 34.
Oh, okay.
So now everybody who hasn't figured me out yet, now you know I'm old. But yeah, I didn't. Like I said, I didn't get my first college degree until I was 34. I took my first college class when I was 17, when I was still in high school.
Oh,
And I didn't finish. I didn't finish the degree until I was 34, just because I went a different route. Whereas my buddy who went to Europe with me, when he got home, he went to college. His parents were quite a bit more wealthy than mine. And now he's an attorney with the Department of Justice in D.C. Been involved in several antitrust lawsuits, like including Microsoft when Microsoft was sued. So it's been interesting talking to him over the years, but everybody's got to find their own path.
right.
I'm not going to say you shouldn't go to college. I think you should, if that's what you want to do. But at the same time, one could go to tech school and be done in 2 years and make $75K a year. Right now, with no college. I worked for a guy who was a 9th grade dropout from South.
Huh.
Here in Omaha South.
Oh, yeah.
He's making 6 figures
Wow.
as a 9th grade dropout. So what it boils down to is you've got to be willing, like we started the whole thing off with, you got to be willing to go out there and do something. Just go out there and pardon the expression, but you got to put your nuts out there and get to work.
Yeah.
And they're going to get kicked and they're going to get smacked a couple of times, and that's just the way it is. It's just, if you go to college, great. If you don't, great.
Right.
You
Do something.
Do something.
All right.
I mean, flipping burgers it's still work.
If you're happy, right?
Right. And you
Yeah.
never know.
Do you like, even if it's not the most like beneficial for you, would you still recommend doing something that makes you happy?
Well, yeah. I mean, that's why I am where I am right now. I spent a lot of years just chasing dollars. And about 5 years ago, I had missed my oldest kid. I missed his entire high school experience. I mean, he didn't walk for graduation because he's just that way.
Mhm.
Like I didn't walk for any of them except for high school because my mom made me. But yeah, he did swing choir, he did other stuff, and I never got to see a thing because I was gone. I was at work all the time, and so I just got tired. I got tired of 70-hour weeks.
So talk about how that just didn't make you happy. is that one of the biggest reasons why you eventually made the decision to like finish school and change your careers?
Well, I knew from when I was in high school actually that I wanted to do what I'm doing now, but when I finished college at 34, I still hadn't calmed down.
You're still listening to punk rock?
And
That never stops.
yeah, I had a pretty serious attitude problem. I would tell people
Really?
off at the drop of a hat.
I would have never thought that.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I would have never thought that.
You haven't told us
How
off.
I know you? Nah. Well, now that I know you more now, I guess I can see it.
I have a pretty tremendous. I've had to learn how to control my impulse, and so I do get. I can be very vociferous, and so had I entered the career that I'm in now, when I was in my mid-30s, I wouldn't have survived, never in a million years. And I've been asked if I wanted to go into management in my current career.
Oh.
It's never gonna happen.
That'd be awesome.
I do not have the patience.
The ideas came up though, I know that.
Yeah, they wouldn't want me there. In that spot, they wouldn't like what I would do.
So, you say you tell people off and you tell people how it is, pretty much. I mean, how you were. Like, do you think that attitude helped you in your business field?
Well, yeah. I mean, because you've got to be unafraid.
Right.
To be successful really in business, you've got to be unafraid to go with what works and what doesn't. And the other thing about business, and this is something that I think some people just never figure out, is you got to remember it's just business.
Right.
It's almost never personal. Upon occasion, it's personal, but you guys are all working now. I think, right? Except for I didn't say anything. But
we won't call them out.
But you've always got that coworker or that manager that's a pain in the butt. You'd rather stab him in the throat than snack boxes with them or something. You know, I'm not advocating stabbing people in the throat, by the way. But you get frustrated with them, and that can get personal if you let it. But it almost never is.
Right. It's just a job.
Yeah, it's just business.
Just a job, yeah.
And so when when doing rent to own, I was the guy that would show up and I'd 7:30 on a Saturday morning, I'll take your fridge. It's just business.
Not bad. It's not bad.
You pulled up with the leather gloves and just cracked them?
Yeah. Go bang on the door for 45 minutes.
Repo their fridge.
Do you have any crazy stories about that? About repo?
Oh!
Because I know there has to be something crazy.
Well, I've seen a couple of things.
You can't elaborate?
I've been in. I don't know how in depth I want to go on this.
We don't have to go in depth.
I know a coworker of mine got shot at.
Whoa.
That was out in western Nebraska. Showed up on a dude's.
Of course, it was in western Nebraska.
Yeah.
Jesus.
And they shot at him. He called us. What do I do? He's shooting at me. Leave.
Drive away?
Get in the truck and drive away.
The fridge is not working.
We'll call the police later and deal with it that way. But no, the hardest part with rent to own, people get mad all the time. I had one lady accuse me of assault and called the cops, and the cops showed up, and I had the whole thing on video.
Nice.
Had another coworker. was this big guy came out of his house just mad as a hornet about something. He was mad at me because I was banging on the door. My coworker was a very large individual who was very in shape, and the customer hadn't seen my coworker yet. He came charging out. What are you gonna do, little man? And my coworker comes walking around the corner and goes, "He won't, I will." And they ended up throwing hands in the street.
Nice.
I told my coworker, I said, if you can throw hands, you got to take your shirt off, though. So he took his shirt off.
Jersey style?
It had the company's logo.
Oh, okay.
You represent the company. If you got the shirt off, you take your shirt off. I didn't notice.
That's
That's
awesome.
not my problem.
I would have been more scared of you, honestly. It's always the quiet types that will mess you up.
Facts.
I'm just more determined.
That's my stuff, bro. 2 hands in the street. That's great content right there. I thought that would have been viral in that video, but honestly.
That was pretty fun.
I mean, you knew this, but rent to own is basically scamming people.
Well, it's usury and thuggery.
Hold up.
What?
Basically, the sad thing is the way the economy is set up in the United States right now because of fractional reserve banking and all the other fun stuff that goes along with it. And, we've created a class of people who rely on places like rent-to-own companies and payday loans and cash checking and all that. Check cashing.
Check cashing.
But all that kind of stuff, which borders on usury, because they don't really. Interest rates can get really high. Like someone does a payday loan, they can end up paying an effective rate of 246%.
God, dude.
When I say an effective rate, that's not the actual what's on paper, but if you do the mathematics and everything, it could be an effective rate of 246%, which is insane. You borrow $1 and have to pay back $3.46.
That's crazy.
That's insane. And rent to own's kind of the same. It comes from the same basic concept where I could go get a TV from Walmart for $600, but if you can get that same TV from a rent to own company for $3,500.
Jeez.
But the difference is I'm walking in with $600 and I'm giving him $600, whereas a rent to own guy doesn't have $600. He or she hasn't figured out how to save their money or build their credit up or whatever the situation is, and they end up going to a rent to own place.
Thinking that it would save them money in the long
Right.
run.
Well, if I came up to you and said, "Man, I can get you this 60-inch television right now, 4K surround, all this other stuff on there, Wi-Fi capable and everything, $15 a week."
Jesus. We just talked about that with infomercials. Infomercials were the same way. Where it's like 3 payments of $19.99 for 3 weeks or something like that.
And the dude's as loud as heck, isn't he?
Yeah. Screaming.
3 o'clock in the morning, just screaming on the TV, man, talking about knives. It's ridiculous, bud. Talking about $45 a month for 4 months. but it's in little quotations at the top of the screen, so you play yourself on some knives.
It's there though.
Same concept.
That is crazy how it's a loophole.
Mm-hmm.
That's all it is. And you're able to build a business off of it.
Be good with your money.
Well,
Yeah.
right.
That's what it boils down to.
Yeah.
Save
be
10%.
smart.
Yeah. Save 10% off your check. That's what I do.
Right.
I mean,
If you want to go get a TV, take $15 a week and stick it in an envelope.
there you go. I mean,
Yeah.
that's crazy. And how did you get into this business? Was it just like something that you saw and you're like, oh,
A friend of mine, actually.
Oh, yeah.
He came. I was, because I couldn't hold my tongue, I was unemployed. And I was in the car business, and I got upset with something, and so I wrote the owner of the car business a letter, and in that letter I called him several unpleasant names.
Obscenities can be said.
Well, it wasn't necessarily obscenities. It was just
Unpleasant.
yeah, calling him a bloviating, you know. But anyway, so I got that, and then they took my keys and my plate, and I found myself without employment. And that wasn't the first time. But a friend of mine pulled me aside and he said, "Hey, you ever thought about rent-to-own doing this?" I said, "No, not one bit. Never ever."
I don't think anyone does.
No. I sit there and go,
Rent-to-own sounds pretty nice right now.
But he says, "I'll pay you this. I'll be there Monday."
Not bad.
So I showed up. And I was good at it. I was good at rent-to-own.
Were you able to just like sell people?
Sell and collect. I mean, it's a... The important thing to remember about rent-to-own is there's not interest charge, it's rent.
Right.
It's not interest. And so a lot of people say, well, what's the interest rate? Well, there's no interest, it's rent.
Right.
And so, and renting and collecting was the name of the game, and I was good at both.
did you just have a field in that? Like, what got you into that business field? Did you just realize that?
I was just good at it.
Oh yeah.
Just good at it. I really hope I could find that, dude.
Yeah, just a natural. That's what
It just it fit. It was something I could do, and I was good at it. And because I have the capacity to hold people to account and make commitments and talk to people, and so.
Well, it's a good thing you talk to people. Otherwise, this podcast would be very boring.
And it probably is. Sorry that we're sleeping.
Oh, we got a guest on the show, dude.
Yeah. I mean, we talk a lot. Like, we hang out a lot.
Yeah, we ramble.
So
right.
we know a lot about each other already. It's kind of nice to hear, especially from someone. Yeah.
Pick his brain, bud. That's good stuff.
Because I bet you a lot of people want to pick your brain, but they just don't have the opportunity to. Now we're giving them that opportunity.
This is that.
I mean, a little bit. Getting a little under the skin there.
Just a little bit.
What else you want to know?
So, like,
What about like the future? You talk about the past, but is there any like goals or anything you want to do in the future that you?
That's a good question.
That is a great question. What goals? I want to be, at some point, I want to be that old guy that stands on the little padded square at Walmart. It says, "Welcome to Walmart." No, I don't know that. I'm in the latter third of my life when it really boils down to it. I mean, what's the average age in the United States? Like 76?
I don't know.
77, something like that.
It's up there.
Around
Around 80. So I'm nearing the latter third of my life, if I'm not in the latter third of my life. And it's just like, I don't ever see myself not working. I'm
not trying to enjoy retirement.
No.
yeah,
I've been on for the last couple
too.
of weeks, and I'm bored.
oh, it's a good thing we texted you.
Yeah, I'm just bored. I play golf.
You play golf?
Oh, yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
my
man,
god.
I know that.
I love
the
golf.
weeks off became rough.
Golf's a great game. It's
Oh.
not a sport. Keep that in mind.
It's
Anybody
a
that does-
It's
right.
Wait.
Anything you can do competitively after the age of 40 is not a sport.
I like that. Real quick, we're gonna sidetrack because this is a big debate between me and Jason.
Hold on, so
No, let me explain.
All right.
yeah, whatever, bud.
So I say baseball is 100% a sport, and he says baseball is just a pastime. What is your opinion on that?
Baseball's a sport. Hold on, go ahead.
Baseball is a sport.
Okay.
Yeah, just digest. We got time.
So, get your phones out and just pull up any random baseball player. CC Sabathia. Pull him up.
CC Sabathia. Got it.
Okay. What's he look like?
What's he look like, bud?
This is so special. Hold on, I need to get a full picture of this.
Yeah, get a full picture of CC Sabathia.
This. I'll have to edit this in later.
Oh, he's a big guy, huh?
That's a big boy, right?
Yeah.
Now let's pull up a picture of Cristiano Ronaldo.
That man is ripped. He's a freak of nature.
Wow.
And tell me which one's really athletic.
Oh.
That man, but that CC Sabathia guy, he must have a cannon on his arm.
He does. There is.
Pinch it.
There is. I don't think he swings the bat. He's just a pitcher.
Yeah, he just is a pitcher.
But it is one of the most difficult things in the world to do, to hit a 100-mile-an-hour ball coming at you from 90 feet. To have that kind of hand-eye coordination is unreal. Because your reaction time literally has to be as the ball leaves the pitcher's hand. You have to be able to swing the bat where you think it's going to be, and that's incredible. I mean, that's a level of speed that I just don't comprehend. But yeah,
That's the fellow right there, bud.
Yeah.
he's pretty, isn't he?
You gotta get a picture. You gotta get a picture of his stomach.
But to say that you can take, now the way I always look at it when you're trying to compare, okay, which are the best athletes in the world as a whole.
As a whole?
If you can take a team.
That's fine. It does that sometimes.
Oh, okay. If you can take an entire team, any team, and put them on another field, like say for example you take Manchester United and put them on a football field, a regular American football field, could they perform the game?
Right.
Sure. Could you take the Dallas Cowboys and put them on a soccer field and have them run for 90 minutes? No, not happening.
Yeah.
Ever. Could you take a hockey team and put them on a soccer field?
No, hockey's just about the fights. I mean,
Hockey's a great game.
Have you ever ice skated for that long, dude?
It's
oh my god.
insane. That's why they do 30-second
Pain on the
shifts.
ankles, dude.
Because it's hard to do. So that's when I look at. So to me, the best group of athletes on the planet are the crazy knuckleheads that paint their faces and chase bulls.
Oh my
on
god.
On the rodeo circuit.
they could probably do anything.
They can pretty much do whatever they want.
Yeah. If you can stand in the face of a bull that's raging at you and just like
And dodge.
laugh, it's just like, you know what?
Slap them on the nose and dodge.
Yeah, I don't want to mess with you.
There's an extreme point to that though, where they actually kill the bull. I don't
Well,
like that.
That's Spain.
That's
Yeah.
tradition.
This is different.
Yeah.
This is American rodeo.
Yeah.
Where they paint their faces up and they get
Yeah.
out there and they act stupid and whack bulls and then dump out of the way.
Oh, you know, that shit's stupid.
That is.
You wouldn't do that?
No.
Why not?
Well, okay, first off, I'm not fast enough, bro. Oh my god, I would
Where
get
is
cracked.
that?
I would get cracked. I'm a big target. I'm easy to get clipped. A bull would decimate me. So
We can go out in the parking lot and practice.
That's true.
Bulls are straight testosterone.
I'll just get
dude.
hit by a car out there in the parking lot.
You got bull fries like that and they're hanging off
Yeah.
the back end of them.
Is that good stuff, bud?
Bull fries?
Yeah, is that good stuff? I've had them.
You have?
Actually, yeah.
You like bull fries?
Not bad.
They're alright.
It's alright.
Yeah, we have that testicle festival, don't we?
Yeah.
Oh, I haven't gone. My parents have gone. They always say it's good.
It's like, it's
It's just
alright.
another piece of meat.
It's meat, bro. Yeah.
Well, you know.
It's nothing
It's
special,
not
but
meat, it's a gland.
yeah,
You know.
I guess you can make it technical.
there's nothing special. It's
More protein.
It is protein.
I have a question actually. So when you traveled, did you try all the food, or were you a picky eater?
Oh, I'm not picky at all.
You're not. Okay.
There's very few things I won't eat.
What are those?
Like liver. Ugh.
Yeah,
Liver.
Liver is rough to eat.
Liver is just disgusting.
No, it's
Even
disgusting.
like high grade liver is
Right.
pretty rough.
I'd rather eat a sponge.
Yeah.
It's nasty.
My
A
grandma.
dried sponge with comet in it. You know, it's under my grandma's sink since you brought up grandma.
Yeah, my grandma thinks liverwurst is like top tier food. It's just spreadable meat. You know how disgusting that is, bro? Just whips it out the fridge and just puts it on a piece of bread and sitting there bashing on it. It's like, oh, you want you want some? I'm like, nah, just eat some ice cubes, bud.
I'm gonna sit in the corner and eat my shoe.
Yeah,
Basically,
it's disgusting. It smells so rancid too.
the gum on your bottom of your shoe probably tastes a little bit better than that.
Probably got a little bit smack on my shoe right now,
No,
but
we ate when we were over there. We ate pretty much whatever was offered.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any like crazy food experiences?
Europe is crazy food.
I mean, it's not really. It's
Not
kind of
really.
tame.
I mean, the worst food that I ate over there was a McDonald's in Nice, France.
Nice.
It was horrible.
McDonald's, bro.
Yeah, it was McDonald's. It was nasty. I'm trying to remember. I think I had a Big Mac, or what passed for a European Big Mac. It was gross.
Are you saying we got gourmet McDonald's over here?
Call it a Mac.
Well, no, because I mean, again, McDonald's is barely food.
Yeah.
I mean, just barely food, and it was worse in Europe. But I don't know. There, you know, we ate at lutefisk up in Sweden, and that was good.
What is that?
That's just fish with lye,
Yeah.
and that's the first time I'd ever had that, and that was good. I really like Swedish bread. Like the bread in Sweden was really heavy, like really thick and heavy. It was just good. I mean, a cut of that was almost a meal by itself. It was great. English food, pretty terrible.
They eat baked beans for breakfast there.
They eat and they boil everything.
Yeah, it's gross. It's so gross. Everything's boiled. Everything on the plate. Their breakfast does not shade outside of like gray and red.
It's
Everything
just
on the plate.
disgusting.
It's
Yeah,
gross.
boiled meat, boiled cabbage,
But-
boiled potatoes. That's
Boiled
all.
Boiled
sausage.
eggs,
It's
boiled
gross.
sausage, boiled everything. Boiled.
And baked beans. Like, if you give me baked beans before 6 o'clock at night, I will smack you in the mouth. Do not try to feed me baked beans.
If you're in a barbecue, man, it's different. At 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Okay, breakfast. If you tell me baked beans for breakfast, I'll smack you.
I'm with you.
That's gross. It's gross.
Now, I will say this. fish and chips, like real fish and chips from a street vendor in London.
Mhm.
That's good.
That's good stuff.
I do
They
want to
serve-
try that one day.
They serve it in a newspaper.
Yeah.
They roll up the newspaper and put the fries down in their chips, and put mushy peas on the top of that, which is just mashed up peas, and then put the cod or whatever, and then they cover it with vinegar. It's really good.
That sounds awesome.
But
That's the main
that's
reason why I
about
want
it.
to travel. It's like,
Oh, yeah.
I just want to
Food?
eat everywhere.
I don't know. I'm more about the attractions. Like I really want to go to like Greece to like look at.
But you're not a
Ancient
big
stuff.
boy though. You're not a big boy like us.
I guess not, dude.
Food is like the main thing.
Yeah. Food.
There is nothing better, and I'm sorry guys, but the best food that I've had on the planet is Italian food. It's so good,
My people.
so good.
That's my people.
My people.
I mean, we'd stop at little delis like in Rome or in Venice or wherever we were, and just have prosciutto and
Those
Man, that's
cured
good.
meats, bud.
But if I had to pick one food to eat for the rest of my life, it'd be tacos.
Tacos.
Tacos de lengua, bro. Some tongue tacos.
That's disgusting.
You don't like
No,
lengua?
actually,
You're
it's
disgusting.
it's
baby.
tolerable, but not the best.
It's great
That's
stuff,
definitely not the
man.
best.
Your Hispanic card is just going farther and farther away.
Yeah, honestly.
Asada?
Yes.
Yeah, of course.
Everybody likes asada.
Yeah, I mean, like, every culture likes that.
I like this shit.
Do you think you're like more cultured because you like lengua?
No, I'm just saying, like, come on, Angel.
Like, I don't. It's just a preference, but
It's just good stuff, bro. Bro, it's got that nice meaty
I spent a
flavor.
summer on Hawaii too, or in Maui.
Oh,
Yeah.
how was that?
That sucked.
It did?
Did it?
Picked pineapple the whole time, but they fed us. We had a little Hawaiian lady that cooked for us, and she cooked us all these crazy Hawaiian things.
Well, did you ever have a loco moco? You know what that is?
Maybe.
It's rice with a hamburger or spam with an egg, fried egg, and
Oh,
then
yeah.
gravy on top.
Yeah,
It's the best.
it's disgusting.
It's amazing. I
It's
love it.
spam.
Spam is delicious.
Spam is not
Spam is
delicious.
like-
It
It's
is
delicious.
unexpirable meat, dude.
That doesn't matter.
But whenever you can get a can and open it up and squeeze it out, and it goes. Buh.
This shit.
You don't want to eat it.
That's good stuff. That's
it.
good stuff.
Don't eat that. Run from it.
I don't know. My grandma's spam and eggs was.
Spam
I thought that was top tier
Oh
food when
my
I was
God.
like 7.
You like fried bologna too?
Nah, bologna. Bologna's the gross thing on the planet. If you eat bologna, I hate you if you eat bologna. Honestly.
Head cheese is worse.
Head cheese.
Head cheese?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like head cheese.
That's disgusting.
But fried bologna.
Bologna is-
kind of hits.
Bologna is gross.
Bologna tastes like mouth. Like it tastes like morning breath, bro. It's gross.
I guess you're right. Yeah, wrong on that one.
That's disgusting.
That's funny.
So, I mean, for the past, I don't know how long we've been talking, we've been asking you questions. Is there anything you want to ask us? I
Yeah.
mean, there's not really, like, now you have the opportunity to ask us anything because we're not really
Unbiased.
Yeah, because we're adults, quote unquote.
Yo.
Wow. Sorry.
Hold up. Yeah, you're right. I'm a wee boy. That's facts.
Yeah, you're a wee boy.
No wee boy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, is there anything you want to ask?
You guys gonna vote in this next election?
Oh, yeah.
That is the plan.
I need to change my party.
Change your
party?
party.
Yeah. I was in the what's the middle party, dude?
The middle one.
Nonpartisan?
I don't know.
I'm partisan, bro.
Nonpartisan. No, it's some. I don't remember what it is.
That's
But I didn't pick Democrat or Republican.
not
Yeah, it's
I was-
nonpartisan.
You pick
Nonpartisan.
Independent.
Independent. Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Independent.
Shit, my bad.
Oh yeah, I mean, you have to vote. Like,
Yeah.
if anything, you should vote. You don't have to, but if anything, like these past things that have gone on, with it being so vocalized now, like when the shootings were happening, and you saw teenagers being vocal, and like it integrated into our social media. I feel like that woke up a lot of younger generation to, oh, maybe we should vote. And for the longest, I feel like people never had that. Like on TV, you didn't see ads. I mean, you might have saw ads, but they were always swayed towards one party.
Sure.
You know, for kids, since it's the message of like we need to have our voices heard, is swayed towards them. I feel like it inspires them to vote more. I mean, I know it inspired me seeing like the protest or seeing like stuff with like immigration problems and stuff like that.
Sure.
Stuff that I know I can take effect in. That just, it drives me to go vote. You know, I mean, I feel like it's a big problem that kids just go, it's a problem. It'll never change. Like, that's why it's a problem, because we all believe that it won't change. If we all believe there is change, then something will happen eventually. You know, it might not happen right away, but everyone wants instant gratification at our time.
Right.
Especially like millennials. A lot of them look for instant gratification. I mean, as I was raised, like, I was taught, like, you do what you're told, you ask questions later, and you just get the job done, you know? And I've always done that. I've always got the job done and looked for, like, not even praise, but looked for, like, agreement that we're all on the same page, you know? So when it comes to voting, it's like, I'm going to vote, and I'm going to make sure my vote is submitted right. I have what I want on my voting ballot. If it doesn't, like, get answered, then, I mean, I did my part.
Sure.
You know?
I don't know. I take a more nihilistic approach to it.
What do you mean?
I don't care.
See, that's the problem.
I don't really care, because I'm not going to say my vote doesn't matter, because it does, but I don't think I am ever going to vote.
You just won't?
Because it doesn't seem worth the time of day to take something, to try for something so hard that might not even happen in my lifetime.
I guess. I see that, but we're still young, you know?
I also feel like the fact that the Electoral College is even, like, existent is a big reason why people don't want to vote. Because that's what makes you feel like their vote does not matter. Because, like, like you like, people go out and vote, and then one party will have more votes than the other, but then Electoral College is, like, ultimately what makes the decision. So it makes it kind of feel like your vote does not matter. Cause it's like your vote's a suggestion, not a vote. There you go.
I get. I mean, even though that it's a suggestion, it's still like a voice that will help push.
But what good is a voice if it's not heard?
Who says it's not heard though?
That's
Because it's not heard. Because the Electoral College, it's just said, man.
I get. I mean, look at
just a little map, bud.
Look at, like, what's happening though with, like, the congresswomen that are getting elected, and they're voicing.
Yeah. This is all good. Yeah.
You see a problem with it though, because they're voicing that they believe in a certain, like, way, or they believe in a certain, like, aspect of how our government should go, and people literally were like, go back to your own country. You know, if America is based off of all this, like, freedom and American dream of you can make it any way, you know, like, you can make it in America if you dream it, and their dream was to come in and change our government. But we still have a large group of population that are so anti you can make change, because they have it their way already. It's not even racist. Like, well, it's not racist. It's more like people don't want to change for other people, and that's the messed up part. You know, like, I can go vote. I can realize that it won't change nothing, but, like, maybe it'll get people thinking. You know, that's how I see it.
No, I don't see it like that either. But I will vote, but I just don't see it like that. I kind of have the same mindset as Elijah, but except, like, I will vote is my thing.
What was, like, crazy to me was we're all, you know, free religion. Do whatever you want with your religion.
Yeah.
Believe in whatever you want to believe. And then this Muslim candidate, I don't know where, she got elected, and she, you know, I don't. Maybe she's. I don't remember.
There's 4 of them, isn't there?
There's 2.
2?
There's 2 that are Muslim.
Yeah,
There's
2.
Omar, Elon from Minnesota, and Talib from Michigan.
Yeah, and then everyone did not like that. I don't know. It's just because of religion.
Yeah.
If you disagree, Thom, like, voice your opinion. Like, that's the whole thing. Like, we're not gonna
butt in here, dude.
We're not gonna, like, poop on your like.
You already know what I think. I was waiting on you.
Yeah,
Angel.
Oh,
speak up.
Honestly, alright, I made a face. I know that's what you, like, pointed at me at. I was just bothered when we had the same hat. When I looked over, I was like, oh my god.
I found
that's hilarious. And it is the same hat. It's got the same logo on the side.
Just the same hat, bud.
That's all I was thinking.
Don't care about the top.
You were out of it the whole time.
Right.
So you want to know what I did?
Mm-hmm.
Last election, I voted for Vermin Supreme in Harambe.
Just cause.
I think voting is violence.
I see that. I do see that. voting just causes like more segregation in our
Right.
communities.
Well, and it's to me it's legitimizing the situation that we have.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, we have a government that is bound and determined to bomb people on the other side of the world.
Yeah.
And in the last several months, we were pushed, and they continue to push for us to go to war with Iran. Why?
Right.
Well, I mean, what? Anytime I see something in the news, the question is some people, they see it and they go, oh yeah, let's go do this or do that, and then other people are all like, oh no, we got to do this, and I always ask, well, who benefits from this?
Mm-hmm.
Like when they said that Iran hit that Japanese oil tanker,
Mm-hmm.
like what was that, a month ago, a little over a month ago,
Something like that.
and I'm just like, why would Iran do that? What possible reason would Iran have to hit this oil tanker from Japan?
Right.
There's no logic there. There's no, and even whether they're whatever persuasion, they're still human and they still have logic. Nobody wants to get obliterated off the planet. Nobody wants to receive the ire of the United States, because the United States is the most powerful army in the world right now.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And so,
Yeah.
so to me, to vote is legitimizing the process.
Mm-hmm.
And I haven't voted for a president ever.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean my first presidential election would have been Bush Dukakis. Now you guys know how old I am. that would have been in 87, 88, and I was in Canada at the time and didn't vote and haven't voted since. I mean, I vote local stuff.
Yeah.
Stuff that
Yeah.
has direct, immediate impact on me.
Mm-hmm.
So I always vote no to kick the judges out. I always vote to kick the judges out. I never vote for a tax increase
Right.
because I think, well, you know what I say.
Yeah.
No, I won't say it here. Yeah, well, taxes are theft.
So, I get your point on that. Like, voting legitimizes it, right? The only counter argument I guess I have to that is it's already legitimized that this is a problem. You see conservative have a problem with we talked about it on our first podcast about how people have a problem with gay marriage,
Sure.
or people have problems with
And you guys, just to correct you, because I remember.
Oh, did you say
it
something
was,
wrong?
It was the Supreme Court.
yeah. Something
It
Oh,
was-
Supreme Court.
It wasn't Obama.
yeah.
It was the Supreme Court.
So they have these problems, and to me, I feel like everyone should be able to live comfortably, and we talked about that.
Yeah, sure.
Comfortability of a person is what should be
Accepted in America.
yeah, it should be
You're-
first
you're-
priority. And
Gay neighbors should be able to shoot their guns while they smoke a bowl. That's just
right,
Yeah.
that's how it should be.
right.
There you go.
So
I don't care.
the reason, the main reasons I vote is because I want to deconstruct these legitimized reasons on why these people are oppressed. Because that's what it is. It basically is oppression against a person.
Sure.
And I guess you can claim that for every law. You can say because you can't go stab someone in the face right now, then you're oppressed in a way. But when it comes to a question of someone's psychological, how they believe, I feel that's when the problems need to be questioned. So with gun rights, there's a lot of back and forth on it's protecting people, right? But it honestly, have guns,
Sure.
At some point someone's gonna get shot. That's the nature of the beast.
Well, we
I
have.
think that
No, go ahead.
the question that should be asked when we're dealing with gun rights, and this is the one that I really struggle with. Right now, so many people that are anti-gun are out there running around. Oh, we got to take all the guns away, and give them to the government. We'll be fine with the government, but the government is being run by a bad orange man who's a Nazi. So,
Facts.
and I'm not saying that he's a Nazi for those of you that say that, but I'm just saying that's the same group of people. Take all the guns away, give them to the government, and the government's run by a crazy guy.
yeah.
I'm just like, okay, where's the logical disconnect here? Somehow you've unplugged a logic number here. The question that I always ask then, for those that are that, is, do you trust that your government will, in perpetuity, meaning for the rest of forever, you'll be able to trust your safety and security to that government, that they will never wax tyrannical, that they will never, ever, ever do things that are bad? Well, we just talked about gay marriage was an issue. Weed is an issue.
For no reason.
Yeah. Since 2015, there's been roughly 400 people that were killed in mass shootings. Okay? There's been roughly 130 Americans that were killed by terrorists. But there's been over 1,500 killed by police since 2015. So, at some point, the government, you got to ask yourself, is the government ever going to wax tyrannical enough to where I am going to fear for my life? And if the answer is yes, the possibility exists, then we can't take guns away.
Right. It's like protect your own.
Right.
Wasn't that like the main reason they wrote like the right to bear arms? Was like if the government was deemed unfit to rule, that we can
We have
take
the
over.
capacity to do it. Now, if you look at the way the Second Amendment's written, it doesn't say that we grant the right to keep and bear arms. It says the right to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. So the idea to own a weapon was pre the government. That right wasn't granted by the government. It just existed prior to the government. So I'm a big natural rights guy. You were
Life, liberty, and property, dude.
Life, liberty, and property. You have a right to be alive. You have a right to have your liberty so that you can stay alive, and then you have a right to property so that you can sustain your liberty and stay alive. Outside of that,
Yeah, honestly.
right.
Like, I don't know. I feel like with the way our government, they dip fingers where they don't need to be dipped.
Yeah.
Like, 100%, they don't need to be dipped in certain.
There was a guy running around in the mid 1800s by the name of Lysander Spooner, and he's got one of my favorite quotes. He said, "Either the Constitution allows the government that we have, or it was powerless to stop it. Either way, it's worthless."
Right.
How's that, Mr. Wendell?
I don't even know who this is. We're gonna have to contact him and say that you called him out.
My boy.
Mr. Wendell's cool, dude.
I like Mr. Wendell a lot.
Good guy.
I don't know. There's the argument though with guns that guns have changed since America became America. Like.
So did the printing press.
Yeah. So did everything. Everything changed.
I know. I'm just being like devil's advocate here.
Sure.
People are always saying like, "Oh, we need to rewrite what the Constitution says," but the
Constitution
was in place for like to keep us sane, basically.
Supposedly.
Like just to keep us like in an organized unit. Now the people in power that read the Constitution and decide like what that Constitution means, maybe that's where the problem lies.
Well, yeah. Let's go with the gay marriage, the same gender marriage thing that we talked about. Why was that even an issue?
Right.
Exactly.
I don't know.
But that's what I don't get. When government got involved with the business of marriage, is where the whole thing went screwy.
I don't get that either. Why is government involved in marriage?
Why do I have to go to the local guys and say, "Oh, if it pleases the crown, I'd like to get married"? No. I should be able to just get married. Hey, let's get married. All right, cool. I'm a tree. Great. Let's get married. The government has no business, and so that's where the problem came. And the same things with marijuana. I'm not advocating for the use of, and I strongly urge you not to, but it shouldn't, this whole idea that, well, we need to legalize it. No, we don't. We just need to decriminalize it.
Yeah.
In the 1930s, when Congress decided, oh, let's make this plant illegal, why? What gave you the right to do that? And where is that in the Constitution? It's not there.
And people are incriminated for it.
Right.
For like longer than other crimes. It's crazy.
Unreal.
And like I don't advocate for the use of it, like do what you want to do. Honestly, that's how I see it. Do what you want to do. Like when people are like, I'm gonna go drink. Okay, do what you want to do.
Great. Stay off my road.
Right.
Yeah, alcohol's terrible.
It's a horrible, horrible thing.
Like as long as like I understand like DUIs, driving under the influence. I understand
Sure.
that. That's cool. You're putting other people in danger. But if you're putting yourself in danger, go for it. I don't care. Like,
Right.
you know, like,
You want to drink yourself into a stupor on your couch?
right. It's like you want to go juggle knives. They didn't ban that, but people
Right.
could juggle knives and one can land on their head. You know, they don't ban it though.
Right.
I don't understand why
Well, they banned lawn darts.
they did ban the
Lawn darts,
I
yeah.
love those things, man. They were great.
The lawn darts.
We used to play mumbly peg with them, where we'd stand about 4 or 5 yards apart and throw them at each other's feet.
Jesus, you're the reason why they got banned.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I guess like in that way, worrying about if people are killing themselves, you know, like doesn't really matter, you know, like
No, it doesn't. Nothing
Like-
matters, dude. Sorry.
it doesn't, like at the end of the day, does it really matter? Especially to a government, you know.
The government didn't care about you.
Right.
That's right.
The government does not care
That's
about you
right.
unless you make millions, own Amazon, or own Netflix. That's about it.
Well, or you don't pay your taxes.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, they need
The
their
government isn't taking your money. We gotta go in there.
Yeah, exactly.
And under threat of violence.
I know.
Every April 15, you better stroke that check, boy, or they're going to come get you.
It's crazy. Like putting people in jail for that,
It's
and like separating people from their family. That's another problem. Separating people from their families.
not the move.
That is like literally being separated from your kin is such a psychological trauma that
Right.
you can't change. Like a father that has a kid and is taken away and deported to Mexico, doesn't see their kid for 18 years, sees their kid, they don't know that person.
Right. At all.
You took that away from them.
And the fact that people like see that and they think, you know, Joe
Let's do it
Rogan,
more.
like when Joe Rogan hit on it and he said like you see a mother like hitting the most primal part of herself, screaming as her kids are taken away, and you're like, oh, shouldn't have came to the country. Like when Joe Rogan spoke on that man, that's the, I don't know, like that's the best way I've ever heard it put. Like if you see that and you're like, that's fine, like I'm okay with that, then
You talk about arbitrary lines in the sand.
like, yeah.
I mean, I guess you're just a terrible person then.
Yeah,
You must not realize
if-
what it takes for that person to be so
Yeah.
guttural, I guess.
I don't know, like if you see that, you're just like that's fine by me. And then it's like it doesn't make like I don't know. You're just a trash person at that point, honestly.
Like
Put it plain and simple, but
that is crazy to me. That because especially here in Omaha, there's a large population of Hispanics.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and a large population of those Hispanics did come here illegally. You just face that fact. You know, and they're all a family. Like they have families. They lived here, and they claim like this is where they live.
Right.
Like if a lion was in the wild in Africa and their family was on your land, you don't just go kick that lion out. You know, that lion's gonna fight for its like so.
Right.
But because the government said you didn't come here the way we wanted you to come here, so you got to get out. Like it's I don't know. That's such like a big problem to me.
I've just never understood my dirt's better than your dirt.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's never made much sense to me.
It's all money problems.
Now, I understand, and some people like that I'm close to really struggle with the whole concept of immigration. There's a difference between being a country, a government established country, and just being a nation. Does that make sense? Like my heritage is pretty Northern European. That should be pretty obvious. You know, German, English, Swedish. That's virtually all of my people come from that part of the world. And having been to Europe, the Germans are very different than the English, and they're very different than the Swedes, and that they're just different people. And it's not necessarily because there was an arbitrary line in the sand that said, "Nope, you're in England and you stay over there." It's just that's
Culture.
the way. That's the way it was developed. And so, I just don't understand that. You know, who made the decision to go draw a line down there and say, okay, this is the Gadsden Purchase. Right here specifically, like I-8 that runs out of Southern California into Arizona, dips into Mexico.
Right.
Like for about 20 miles, I think it is. It's actually in Mexico.
Right.
But
Wow.
yeah, it says as you drive on it, don't stop and pick people up. Heck, I'm stopping.
Yeah.
See
If
somebody
I saw
out
a
there?
family walking, yeah, okay, hop in, man.
Hop in, man. Here's some water.
Yeah, don't die.
It's a miserable place out there. Yeah, that's the key.
Like,
Be a human being, man.
right. We like the term illegal alien pisses me off so much because at that point you're stripping away the humanity. You're
Yeah.
stripping away the fact that they are human beings.
Exactly.
You know?
I think that's more to like let those people who think that's right desensitize themselves.
Yeah, it justifies it in their mind.
Yeah, like I say undocumented. That's what I say. I'm not like, oh, alien. That's it. Just sounds ridiculous, but then yeah, it's just like dehumanize them. It's just like separate yourself from the fact that they're also a person.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, if we storm Area 51,
Yes. Are you on that bandwagon?
no,
No?
while you guys are over there storming Area 51, I'll be storming the Fed.
They'll be busy with us.
But he created it. It was all diversion. It's his time to shine. It's his time to shine.
Walking in with the leather gloves.
Yes, sir.
Bag the dogs.
The best on, bud.
Yeah.
That's right.
The best.
It's time to shine.
That's crazy.
I don't know how the new management is gonna take to me wearing a vest.
Oh, yeah.
You're still gonna do that?
Heck yeah.
Nice.
I mean,
That's
freedom of
the-
speech. He has a problem with it?
Exactly.
Well,
It's beautiful.
like, I feel like, I don't know what we were just talking about, honestly, but the problem with the, like, illegal immigrants, like, I understand how the dispute of go through and get the process done, but I don't think a lot of those people that say that realize that the process is fucked in its own right.
It's rigged, dude.
Yeah, it's messed up in its own right. Like, there are stories out there of people saying, like, my father's been trying to get his paper for 15 years and he just got the letter today that he could finally come.
Yeah.
You know? Like, I just don't get it. Why can't it just be sign your name here, tell us when you were born, tell us if you're vaccinated, welcome to the country?
Exactly.
You know, like, I get it. Taxes. Government wants to know if you're a
What was that,
person.
dude?
Taxes.
It's all about putting that inventory number on you.
Literally, that's what it is.
It always comes down to taxes every time.
It's so stupid.
Like,
It's all about control.
I don't know how you can see it like how it fits you. Like, oh, that's a great thing. Like, rip someone out of like their home they've been in for like their whole life. Like someone who came here when they were like a year old, and then they're like they've been here for like 25 years, don't have citizenship, and you're like, oh, gotta go back home. It's like that's not
even
home.
home.
Their home is here. It doesn't make sense.
It's rough stuff.
Don't get it. Don't get it.
Well, we still got a little bit more time.
Well, I'm glad we agree on most of it.
Yeah, man.
Because
I don't know. I really wanted you to come in and just like, you guys are stupid.
Why? My biggest deal is and I'll just say it because we haven't been. I'm opposed to government, just altogether. I'm an anarchist. Just straight up, I would love to see all government just go away. I think humans have the capacity to just be good to each other without trying to divide each other up and
yeah,
be angry. Now, it's just, is that ever going to happen? No.
Right.
no,
It's just not, because too many people are.
In power.
Well, yeah. I mean, because when you look at what it will cost in terms of power, and there's a lot of them that are in power right now that have no business being in power. Because I think the worst people, the worst possible people, are always the ones chosen. I mean, when your last two choices for president of the United States are Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump, there's something really wrong.
there's something wrong.
That your system is absolutely screwed.
Yeah.
And it blows my mind. And now, when you look at the Democratic opportunity, whether 24 of them or 25 of them now that are trying to become the next president of the United States, can you name any of them?
Nope. Kanye, actually. Kanye
Oh, no.
West.
But he would run as a Democrat.
Yeah, he's running as a Republican.
But yeah, I mean,
Bernie Sanders.
That's
yeah.
all I can name.
Bernie Sanders.
He's
Well, he just showed that he's an idiot.
What happened with him?
Because he's been advocating for this $15 minimum wage, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he wasn't paying his staff $15 an hour.
Yeah.
He was paying them a net equivalent of about $11.50 or $12 an hour.
Yep.
And so they said, "Hey, we want $15 an hour," and he said, "Well, we'll have to cut hours."
Right.
Okay, you're not letting businesses do that. So he just proved it. He just proved his whole point as being upside down and backwards.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's probably the only one that most people can name. You got Elizabeth Warren.
Don't even know who that is.
She's a white lady from the Northeast who claimed to be Native American. And got a job at Harvard based on the fact that she claimed to be Native American, and then they proved that she's not even close.
Yeah.
Nice. That's good stuff.
and people are considering her a legitimate contender. It's like, come on, man, seriously.
Well,
The only other one I know is Beto O'Rourke.
Oh, there's a good one. Robert
Beto
Francis O'Rourke.
That's the only one I know.
And he calls himself Beto.
He seems like a decent guy.
everyone seems decent on the baseline.
I know. I'm just saying, like,
The one that is in charge right now did not seem decent on the baseline.
that's right.
Yeah.
That's a TV star, and that man pulled up, and here he is.
Just because he's a TV star doesn't mean he's a bad person.
TV star is is pushing it a little bit. He's a businessman.
He was on TV for
That sold a lot of
quite
people,
while.
though. Like, I know
Like,
for
he was a
fact that's
businessman?
like, he knows how to run a business, so he can run America like a business. And look what
We
he's
talked
done so
about
far.
that. Yeah, we talked about
Yeah,
that.
we did talk about that.
He is a guy. You could take all his money on Monday, and he'll make $1 million by Friday.
Yep. He's
He's that kind of guy.
savvy.
And
Not the right kind of savvy for our country, though.
Yeah.
Not the right kind of savvy for us.
For
In this
everyone. He's
for
putting-
some people, he's
know,
he's
you got-
helped a lot of people.
You got those nice red states, but
Yep.
those nice red
You
states.
live right in the middle of one.
Yeah, we do live in a red state.
Red state, blue area.
Yeah, we're in a blue city in a red
We
state.
clean blue.
Right now, you get that side of Harrison. It's not that way. You get that side of 144.
Not the move, but it won't catch me over there, honestly.
Yeah, I had a job opportunity out there.
Did you say no?
I said no.
Nice, dude.
I will stay where I am.
Good man.
Good stuff.
That's my people.
My people.
My people.
Yeah. I'm surprised you didn't come with the vest today.
Um,
Thought you were gonna pull
It's
it
weird not seeing you with the vest.
out.
she gets grumpy. There are certain times where I will step off of my principles.
Wow, that's crazy.
That's one of them.
That's true love right there.
I was fully expecting the best, to be honest. I was fully expecting it.
I wore it on a golf course the other day.
That's awesome. You're pissing everyone off. You're just reflecting in everyone's
But
face.
you're just like, what is that for? Safety.
Yeah, so
Safety first. I want to make sure everybody can see it.
Don't get beat
we
by a
keep
golf ball.
mentioning the vest. Do you want to like elaborate on why you wear that?
So there's a protest going on in Paris that is very much in line with the way I look at things. Macron is the French president, and he passed through Congress, their Congress, basically a law that jumped their taxes on fuel, particularly, like almost quadrupled the price of fuel, and they pay by the liter over there. And it was rough, and they already pay like $3.50 a liter or something.
Oh my God.
So if you do the mathematics, that's for us we buy gallons. So there's 3.2 or 3.3 liters in a gallon, something like that.
I wouldn't know.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
school didn't really teach me about that.
Yeah.
School system blows.
Yeah, well, we can talk about that too if you want. But they basically almost quadrupled the price of gas. So they went from paying $3 or $4 to $7, $8, $9, $10
Jesus.
a liter. And what that does is those whole things sound great on paper because people like Macron don't have to worry about paying that. He's on the public dollar.
Mm-hmm.
He gets, he drives a public vehicle. He never has to go to the gas station and fill up or anything like that.
Right.
Where the farmers and the truck drivers and the taxi cab drivers and these guys that own their own businesses over there, suddenly the cost of their business has gone way up. And then bread prices go up, egg prices, milk. I mean, everything just goes right up with it when they do that kind of stuff. And so they chose yellow vest because everybody, it's required by law in France that if you own a vehicle and you drive a vehicle, you have to have a yellow vest in your vehicle. Because if you have a flat tire or you have a crash, then you put your yellow vest on. You just get it out and put your little yellow vest on because you're safe. And so that's where that whole thing started from. And they call it the Gilets jaunes. Is the movement. And they've been rioting in Paris every week now for grief. It's been going on since September.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Wow.
Oh my god.
And they're still out there. I mean, and the American media never reports on it.
Because why would they?
Every week it's going on, and it's spread too. There's riots going on all over the world, like Hong Kong.
Oh yeah.
Big riot right now. In Taiwan, there's a big riot. Sudan has a huge riot going on right now. A lot of European cities.
There's a lot of stuff crumbling that we just don't get to know about. Kind of sucks.
Yeah.
When the system goes.
Yeah.
I'm
The
ready.
system goes. Get my crossbow real quick.
There you go.
Gotta start investing in that crossbow.
Compound bow, dude. Pull back with like 500 pounds of force.
If I do get that early retirement, I will be doomsday prepper, bud.
For real.
Yeah, if I do have some early retirement in the future,
I respect doomsday preppers, honestly.
that's commitment.
That's commitment. Like, you know stuff is going downhill. And you're just like, I'm
Like-
going with it, you know? So might as well be prepared.
Just have 3 months worth of food on hand. It's about have $1,000 ready to run cash. You'll be alright.
I'm building the castle. I saw a dude with the castle in the forest, and he had like years worth of water, and I was like, this is insane. This dude's a freak.
That's awesome.
But like,
He's
not
prepared.
He's not a freak. That dude is ready for any situation.
There's a dude that owns a missile silo outside of Kimball, Nebraska.
That's sick.
And he's got, I mean, it goes way down.
Yeah, that's a whole, you could fit like,
Oh my
a
god,
little
that-
city in there.
Almost, yeah. It's crazy.
Fit a missile in there.
It's like, yeah, you seen
Well, there's no missile in there. They pulled it out.
Yeah.
You see the what's it called? Like people with the buses underground. They build like an underground railroad.
And they have like
school
27 buses. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like 100 feet deep into the ground. It's insane.
That's nutty.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm not that crazy.
I will be that. If I have the funds for that, I will be that crazy.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to die by getting nuked or something, but I mean, if we get nuked, I'm like,
Well, if you get nuked, I mean, we got Offutt Air Force Base right there. So
Yeah.
if nukes
If
start
we get-
flying, we're one of the first
Man.
places to go.
yeah.
That'd be the worst though.
Would
Yeah.
you go out with a nuke?
And
Or
I'm
try and
right
survive?
there, bud.
Oh no, heck no! I just get my chair out and flip it out in the driveway and sit up and look.
Butt
There it
naked.
is, right there.
You're gonna be sitting there butt naked for the
Yeah,
last time.
just because there's no way you're outrunning it. By the time we know it's coming,
I'm
It's
10
too
minutes
late.
away from Offutt, but I'm like direct target zone.
yeah,
It
you
is-
drive towards it.
Yeah, it's Rip Jason at that point. My buzz and breaks and
Right,
whatnot.
just, yeah.
Rip everyone in a 300-mile radius.
Yeah, right. I'm right there.
Because I mean, it's
dust.
just the way it'll hit it'll go down because Stratcom actually goes down into the ground. I don't know how far down it goes.
It's like crazy tunnels.
I think it's at least 20 stories down or something like that. It's nutty, but they'll drive into that, and then of course there'll be the one that'll bounce. It'll hit the dirt and come back up, and then go. That'll be fun.
That's
That'd be
crazy
fun stuff.
I'll just get a lawn chair,
I'll be there.
and a Coke Zero.
Coke Zero.
The infamous Coke Zero, bud.
Oh.
I mean, I think we're getting to that age where it's just like, yeah, you know, we could get nuked and it'll just happen.
And it's crazy that's like.
That's a possibility.
It's not gonna hurt.
Yeah.
No, I mean that's the good thing about it.
I'll just beat dust, bud.
Bro.
Well, unlike Hiroshima, I mean, yeah, you know, the payload capacity difference is so unreal. In Hiroshima, it was everything in 2 miles, and then it was outside of that,
It just
people melt into sidewalks.
that's just
exactly.
terrible.
Yeah,
That's terrible stuff.
I can't. That's an embarrassment in my mind.
Yeah.
It definitely is.
Two
It's-
nukes ever have been dropped, and both of them by the United States.
It's something that did not need to happen, like at all.
Yeah.
And
Well, it did end the war.
it ended the war.
Yeah, two of them, though.
I know.
And they were ready to drop a third.
That's crazy.
That's insane.
Boggles my mind.
Why were nukes ever created, dude? I don't know. This is why we mess with something you
Bro,
don't
it's
understand.
literally, nukes now is really like who's got the biggest dick, bro.
Yeah.
That's
It's
what
always
it
been
is.
that way, though.
Bro, it's ridiculous. They're like, I got a nuke, and then bro, North Korea hit us back with the my nuke's bigger and better, bro. And it's like you're gonna compare. You're gonna compare.
I mean, it's
nukes
like
right now.
it's like the race to space, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Why did that ever happen? Just to show that U.S. was better than everyone else?
Everyone's so egotistical.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Luckily, in Nebraska, we're all down rooted and we don't really care, right?
That's what you like to think,
Until it
bro.
comes to football.
Yeah.
And then we're stupid about it.
I don't know.
I mean, we wear corn on our heads, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. We do wear corn on our heads.
And why is that? When they have a nationally televised Nebraska
I don't know.
Cornhusker game, they always find that one guy
That has the corn.
that's got his bib overall on, no shirt on underneath, and he's got man boobies hanging out there. Dirty boobies at the camera.
Yeah.
Yep, there's Nebraska for us.
There's Nebraska, that guy right there.
That's what you think it is, but it's horrible because if I say I'm from Nebraska to anyone, they think I'm a hick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's like, oh, you like your sister a lot, don't you?
Yeah, buddy.
You guys still ride horses every day, dude?
Like,
Yeah, we have houses.
Yeah.
Fight the Native Americans on our way to school.
On the school bus with their slingshots.
yeah.
It's crazy.
It is. It's crazy.
I mean, that's like us talking about Europe, though. We all assume that they all hold their pinkies up when they drink their drinks. You
That's
know?
England, dude. Come on.
Specifically England, and that's facts. They do that.
they drink tea religiously, dude. Come on.
That'd be
Everyone
interesting.
drinks tea over there.
That'd be nice. I like tea. I like tea a lot.
I don't like tea.
I do like tea. Milk tea.
They drink a lot of alcohol over there.
Oh yeah, isn't the age of drinking
Yes.
lower?
But some of them don't have drinking
I thought it was 19.
So you were just going off.
age. 14.
People are going-
places.
14, Jesus
You
Christ.
came back to America a seasoned veteran.
Nah.
Ready
American.
to party, bud.
Yeah, you're ready to party. That's why you just party till you were 34.
You could have ran some money off some frat kids.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Want to play beer pong? I've been practicing for 8 years. Let's go.
America should have kept the alcohol ban, dude.
Prohibition?
Yeah.
People would have got alcohol anyways, like they
Exactly.
do with marijuana.
Yeah, but it would be
Yeah,
illegal.
it'd be
But then we'd have the same conversation of why is it illegal? You know?
No, because alcohol is actually bad.
You say
Alcohol is terrible
This
for
is the
you.
same debate people have about marijuana. You realize that?
But that's
What?
like, but that's people's stance. Like looking at it like that, I feel like it's lessening.
Oh, that it's dangerous? Yeah.
Yeah,
Because people are now realizing the medical use of it, but
Yeah.
not everywhere.
bro. Help my grandma's arthritis, bro. Honestly, that's all I want. That's all I want medical marijuana for. I care less until it becomes necessary for me. I need my grandma's arthritis fixed, bud.
That's true.
That'd be fire.
Like, devil's advocate, but the debate for alcohol is literally that. Like, why is it banned? Like, why was it banned? That's what people got to. People were like, why is it banned?
Get the
You know?
statistic out of it. How many people alcohol kills, dude?
Okay, so if marijuana was legal, like the statistic right now is low, but
But
how long would it
I
take?
mean,
the
but
thing
how would
is,
you-
is that the people that want to smoke weed,
Yeah,
whether it's legal
that's
or
what I was
not. They
about to say.
truly do not care.
Yeah,
Like everybody smokes weed now. That's
Yeah,
just what it
pretty much
seems like.
everyone.
Oh, except Thom.
Not even us, but
Not us either. That's like no one in this room does basically. But
Yeah.
outside of this room, oh my god.
it's crazy. Like you
Yeah.
can't escape it.
Yeah, it's like if you want to do it, you're gonna do it. So I guess that'd be the same thing for alcohol too. If it was banned, like you want it, you're gonna
Yeah.
get it.
Well, they did.
Yeah,
They
it
did.
did happen.
And it became a huge problem, so they said,
That
well,
nice-
we're going to give up.
I don't see why.
It was constitutional amendments.
Yeah.
Mm.
What the heck is wrong with that?
I don't know.
I don't get it. Like, why can't they just give up about marijuana? Why can't they just give up?
There's
about-
such a fight to keep marijuana illegal, dude.
Well, you,
Mm.
No, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Say whatever, dude.
Pop off.
it's, because it's a money making situation right now.
Mm.
Yeah, you explained that to me.
Right.
Yeah,
If
I remember
you
that.
like right now, it takes I don't know how much wood exactly, but it takes about a couple acres of wood, 3 to 4 acres of wood, trees, to create enough lumber to build a house. You can do the same thing with 3 acres of hemp and make a house out of it with hempcrete and all the other stuff that's involved with that.
Yep.
The difference is it takes 20 years to grow 3 acres of wood sufficient to build a house. It takes 90 days to grow 3 acres of hemp. And so you've got the lumber industry is a huge part of this. hemp, if hemp were legalized, paper,
Everything would be made out of
right,
it.
everything would be made out of hemp because it's cheap and it grows like crazy. The medical applications are just out of this world. I mean, you guys, one of the things you guys talked about was in the first one that I listened to was big pharma. Was kind of the things you guys threw out there. Big pharma.
Pill pushers, dude.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean,
Medical man.
it's a huge deal, and there's a tremendous amount of money in there, and the reason medicine is as expensive as it is because government's involved.
Right.
You know, you have to jump through the FDA hoops, and then you got to jump through this hoop, and then everybody's greasing skids. I mean, Dianne Feinstein's been in Congress for 38 years at $179,000 a year, but she's worth $268 million. How did that happen?
Right.
So her skids have been greased a lot, and so that's where all this stuff comes from, and they're able to charge that much because government allows them to charge that much. Well, if you bring hemp into the picture, and I can grow hemp in the ditch behind my house, you know, and then suddenly I'm able to process my own oils, and I don't need big pharma anymore. I can control my grandma's arthritis with this stuff. You know, it's just, and so there's just so much money. It's a huge money making killer, and if hemp becomes legal, it can be grown so cheaply anywhere.
I see that, but I don't see why they don't see that as an advantage. You know, I get it that
it's gonna cause big problems
it would cause
immediately.
Problems. Yeah, that's the thing. It causes problems immediately, but no one ever looks to the future.
They don't want to look to the future because it's about control and power right now.
Right. I get that. Like with like the decisions we make of like let's go, like we said, bomb Japan. You know, the war could have ended eventually on like without that nuke.
Yeah.
But they got it done right away. Instant gratification. Again, it's such a big problem with like the day-to-day lives of people, and I feel like that's just as in our animalistic nature, you know, instant gratification. You kill something, you want that gratification of a meal right away, you know, like that's what just like it's ruining a lot of things, and I feel like this is why the riots are happening, you know, because on paper for the gas, instant gratification, you raise the price, we get more money, and it just works all across the board. But they don't take into like account of
all the little guys.
Yeah, the human beings, the people that actually like live here. You know, it's crazy. I hate it.
Just see numbers.
I hate it so much. It annoys me so much.
That's why I try not to even look into it, because it's like it's just frustrating to even look into it and just like try to comprehend what's going through their heads when they make decisions. So it's just like it's just better not to like put yourself into it.
I guess because it seems on paper it seems so easily solvable.
Yeah.
But it has to go through, like, I can't think of the word, but basically government. It has to go through government.
Right.
It has to go through that process.
Yeah, I hate it.
And it's long.
I could talk about government for hours, but we actually are running out of time, and we do have to wrap this up pretty soon. I mean, is there any last points y'all want to hit just for like real quick blurb? We got like 10 minutes left.
No, I'm good to go, bud.
Angel, you haven't really talked enough.
That is true.
There was some conversation, bud.
Probably gonna stay that way right now.
You're just real comfy on the couch. I got you.
Changed positions like 20 times now, if you guys didn't know.
I noticed. Elijah? Anything?
No, not really. But I don't know, same thing. Love who you want to love. Be yourself.
The government's messed up.
Government's whack.
Thanks.
Anarchy, blood in the streets, right?
That's a misconception. That's alright.
That is a misconception.
That's a misconception.
Well, Thom.
Anything else?
It's, I don't know, who listens or whatever, but just be good. Be good to people. It's just, doesn't matter what they look like, what they taste like, anything. Just be good to people because they're going through crap just like you are.
Yeah.
Life's just rough for everybody's got a hard time, so just be good. Smile at people, wave at them, be nice to them. You see somebody off on the side of the road, don't go shoot them, just help them change their tire or something. Just be good.
Even if they don't agree with you politically.
Right.
Yeah.
Don't Don't go killing people,
Now,
basically.
back to an earlier comment, I like sardines.
I like
Oh,
You
sardines.
don't like sardines?
You
I like sardines. Sardines are pretty good.
We got two freaks of nature in the room, I guess. Not feeling canned fish, but that's my bad, I guess.
Canned meat of all kinds. You like spam, man. It's
Yeah.
canned meat, bud.
Well, my grandma's spam. Also, that spam sushi that Steven whipped up also was not bad.
Suddenly I'm sick to my stomach.
Speaking on your note of just be good to people, I think in this room, us four, we always we were super happy to have you on the podcast.
Yes,
Yes, sir.
Throughout the years, you've always treated us with the respect of we are human beings.
That's good stuff.
You know, there wasn't a disconnect, and I think we've all noticed that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That we look to you more as someone to aspire to be, instead of
Just-
someone
just
that's
someone.
just pushing us along. You know, and I know that really inspires me to go into a certain path in my future. You know, and I just want to say thank you, especially for coming on, talking
Sure.
today. It's
Yeah.
been wonderful. We stretched this episode kind of long, but I think you were worth it. You know,
Thank you.
That's good stuff, bud.
the door is always open. You know, if you want to ever come back, talk about it.
There's
Shoot
always
the
a
shit.
spot on the couch for you.
Sir, always a spot on the couch.
I don't know about this couch.
This
This couch got holes in it.
This rent own couch.
Yeah.
dude.
It's a rent-owned couch.
These
Yeah.
that's our own
So we're
couch.
actually going to get repoed here soon. It's okay.
Yeah.
We got to find a spot. But yeah, we'd like to say thank you for being our first guest.
Yep.
Sure.
And
Good
it's,
stuff.
it's kind of last minute. I just texted you randomly, but at least you were up to it.
Yeah. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
It's been fun.
And on that note, guys, we're going to call it there. Y'all have a good night. That's been The Couch.